Why play Yone top? Well, he's very mobile, he scales into a late game beast. His abilities are just amazing with no mana and very short cooldowns, and he can solo carry games much easier than most champions. However, he can be squishy and gets blown up hard if CC'd, and he does have a weaker laning phase than many bruisers top lane. Yone's passive firstly is that every second auto attack deals half the damage as physical and half as magic, and the second part is that he gets 150% extra critical strike chance. For example, buying this crit cape, which usually gives 15% crit chance, gives Yone 38% crit chance instead. However, his critical strikes do slightly reduce damage, and any crit chance you get over 100% is converted to AD instead. Yone's Q thrusts his blade forward a short distance, dealing damage and granting him a stack. After getting 2 stacks, his third Q makes Yone dash forward and throwing a thin, long-range skill shot in a direction which damages and knocks up all enemies hit. Yone's W is a cone skill shot which deals split physical and magic damage to all enemies hit, and shields Yone for each enemy hit. Yone's E dashes him forward a small distance and grants him movement speed, leaving behind a spirit where he dashed from. After 5 seconds, or when you press E again, Yone snaps back to his previous form and deals 25 to 35% of the damage dealt to champions to that champion again. You can think of this like a mini Z ult. Finally, Yone's ultimate is a straight line skill shot which deals physical and magic damage to all enemies hit, teleports Yone behind the furthest enemy hit, and knocks all enemies up and towards Yone. For Masteries, take this, it makes you an even better duelist and keeps you alive. For build orders, start Blade and Pots, before getting Zerks, Lifebow and IE. Follow this up by getting any of these depending on what you need, and finish your build with either more of the second row or any of these as needed. For skill orders, start Q, then W, then E, before maxing Q, then E, then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoners, take Teleport and Flash. Ignite is good if you think you can kill your laner, and Exhaust is a good defensive option. During the lane phase, you're looking to play safe and farm up. A lot of top lane bruisers will match your damage and simply have far greater sustain than you. The best way to deal with these opponents is to simply last hit and freeze the wave closer to your tower and wait until you're strong. That said, however, when you have 2 stacks of Q, look for a trade. Between your engage with E, the knock up with your Q, and the damage and shield from your W, you'll often simply get free trades before jumping back to safety. Keep on farming safely and going for these trades when your E is up and your Q is stacked until you hit 6. At this point, the amount of CC and single target damage you bring is often enough to kill your opponent. If not, it makes you a very easy lane to gank for when your jungler comes. Entering the mid game, you're going to be getting much stronger. At this point, you can outduel most opponents, so an easy default is to split push for towers. If they send one champion to deal with you, you'll often have the advantage, and if they send multiple champions, you can back off while your team applies pressure elsewhere. When split pushing, however, make sure you're always able to roam or teleport to objectives as they come up. As Yone, you never want to miss the opportunity for an early skirmish where you can hit multiple champions with your ultimate. Entering the late game, you are incredibly strong. You will win almost every 1v1 and you are a monster in team fights. Try to force objectives like Baron, Drake Stole and Elder Dragon to close out games. When team fighting, if you are your team's engaged, you can E into a multi-person ult for your engage. However, if you can play the more assassin role, wait for the team fight to start before locating a high priority target to get onto and delete. This is usually the better playstyle to play for the win.